There's an argument out there that the Rolex model lines all look too similar. They recycle the same case design and dial designs throughout their model lines. They share the same movement between models. They don't have enough originality or innovation. Almost every Rolex is basically derived from either the Submariner or the Datejust. It starts with the Submariner, with a rugged case design, dependable movement, and a simple dial layout. This then branches out into the Submariner Date, and then the GMT Master 2, with different movements and different bezels, but still a very similar case and dial. And then the Submariner branches out into the Yachtmaster, again with a similar dial design and bezel, but with a different case design and sizes and materials. The Submariner design features a rugged case, a ceramic bezel, which is rotating, a crown, and crown guards. The side of the case is very flat and polished with hard edges, and the case back is solid with no engraving or text. And an almost identical case design with the GMT Master 2. Flat-sided case, plain case back, crown and crown guards, and a rotating bezel. Except this bezel is colored, has a different bezel action, and it has numerals ranging from 2 to 22. And even the dial design is very similar between these two watches. Disregarding the Cyclops, both have very similar hour markers and markers at 6, 9, and 12. And I won't focus too much on the bracelet, but the same kind of oyster-style bracelet design. And if you put this Submariner besides the old discontinued GMT Master 2 with the all-black bezel, then they both start looking very similar. And you can put this Submariner besides a Yachtmaster Titanium, and that also has a very similar look to this, with a similar bezel but a different case design. But putting it next to this GMT Master 2, the red and blue colors of the bezel give it a different look, but the question still remains, are these two Rolex lines too similar to each other, and are they also too similar to the Yachtmaster line? And the other based Rolex design is the Oyster Perpetual, which branches out into the Datejust, and then this Day-Date, and then the Sky Dweller. All of those lines share this similar type of case design with the curvy sides, with the lugs bending down to conform to the wrist, and a crown with no crown guards. Also a bezel with variations of smooth, domed, or fluted. The Daytona sits somewhere in the middle, a sports watch like the Submariner, but with a very different dial because it is a chronograph, but with the case design more similar to the Oyster Perpetual, Datejust, and Day-Date. But it still remains that almost all of Rolex's watches are derived from either the Submariner or the Oyster Perpetual / Datejust. And they're spread across multiple model lines. And each model line has dozens of variations with different colors, materials, and slightly different dials. So is Rolex not showing enough imagination and not enough innovation? I will give them credit for the 1908 line, but is it time for them to introduce a totally new model that looks distinct from what they already have? I think many of their models already look too similar to each other. That's one of the reasons I did not want to get a Yachtmaster, and I did not want to add another GMT Master 2 with just adding a different color of the bezel. And it's another reason why I stopped buying any further Rolex. I understand the benefit of having a consistent design language. It brings coherence to the collection, but at some point, these watches start looking just too similar to each other, and at some point, it's time to branch out into a different brand. I'm pretty happy with these watches here, and I'm lucky to be able to wear them. And I'm happy with this watch box from Rapport London. But in the current Rolex lineup, I do not see anything that is needed further to complete the collection, or anything else that I particularly want to get from Rolex.